Hello everybody and welcome to the second half of the Player One SimGear Super Formula Lights Championship as we take on round 5 here from Long Beach. I've got to say this is a round I've been absolutely looking forward to from the very start. The first of 2 American rounds in the second half of our season, but more importantly it is a street circuit and a very, very difficult one at that as well. It's myself, Ewan, and James Parfitt with you again for this round of the championship. The iconic fountain is ready and waiting and the drivers are out already in qualifying. It's good to be here for this one, James. What a round this is going to be.
Yeah, I think this could be probably one of the best rounds of the season. I'm hoping it is. It's either that or it's going to be the one with the most safety cars. One or the other.
In fact, in the information we were given, it's been called very likely we're going to have safety cars and therefore no stops here today. I don't know if I agree or not, actually. I think that we could be surprised. After all, it's been a couple of weeks now since we've seen a safety car after full green flag runs at Misano and Interlagos, although we did have the Hockenheimring, which had a season's worth of safety cars all in one day. Let's have a look at the championship standings at the halfway stage as they start to make a little bit more sense with our drop week involved and now 4 rounds in the past. It's Phil Vella who's hung on to his championship lead despite losing 28 points to Curtis Webb last week. He took his second win of the season at Misano, and now he's ahead of Craig Edwards, who is just in third position, ahead of 5 points ahead of Jordan Masroli. Jack Morrow was on pole at Misano, but fell through the field, unfortunately, on that particular day. He's now 5th, ahead of Marcus Watson, who wasn't there at Misano. Scott Bottine wasn't with us in Interlagos, and so that's where his drop round has gone to. He's in 7th, ahead of Flavio Dantes, who took pole at the Hockenheimring, and a couple of podiums along the way as well, although he has been outside the top 20 twice. Jordan McDonnell and David Gallo round out the top 10 in the drivers' points with 1 drop week applied here in this series. So after 4 rounds rather than 8 like we had last season, Curtis Webb was able to take a second victory of the season. So we got a driver with 2 wins in 1 season, but he's still not the championship leader. Phil Vella is at the front. However, it should be worth noting that in the top 5, there are most of the drivers who have had a pretty bad round so far. Vella's finished 26th at worst. Webb has been quite consistent across the board. Craig Edwards has finished 33rd at the first round. That's his drop round, and you'd imagine it will continue to be. Jack Morrow, who's currently in 5th place, has been 29th. As I said earlier, Marcus Watson has got Bartard and missed a race. A lot of these drivers can't really afford any bad rounds at all.
No, that's the thing. It's been a very up and down season for some of them, and I don't think, they want to go. This is probably the worst track that they can go into if their consistency has not been quite up there. It's hard because we've seen a bit of everything, haven't we? We've seen incidents, we've seen people missing rounds, we've seen mad collisions going on, we've seen Jack Mara fly like the wind, you know what I mean? There's been so much happening that I think everybody at some point will have a bad round. Yes, Curtis Webb has been the most consistent, but I think, to go for a whole season without a bad round, questionable.
It's going to be difficult to achieve that. I'm not even sure he's got off to a very good start here today either. Look at him at the moment, 17th place, Curtis Webb. He's only done 3 laps in qualifying, so I'm not sure what kind of problems he's had so far because we've been here for 9 minutes, but he's only set 3 laps. Now he's got traffic as well. Nearly 30 drivers out there, slightly reduced field compared to some of the rounds we've had so far, but a very reduced circuit in terms of track length. 1 minute 12 in these cars, and they're not the fastest cars in the world. And Curtis Webb is finding it difficult to get a good lap in here. Look at this, traffic is terrible through the middle sector.
Yeah, but how... We know, obviously, the blocking in qualifying rules, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not this is deemed as blocking or whether or not Webb is using Loretti for a tow. It's going to be, an interesting way of deciphering this if they're RC.
Well, if Loretti's starting a lap time of his own, then I don't really see what he could be penalised for doing. Webb goes over the line 3/10 further behind him. Now he's making an overtake in qualifying. This is never a great sign. And now he will pull through. And now this should be a better lap from him as well. In qualifying today, by the way, we have got Kane Ryder in. Oh dear. As Webb goes around, so I was looking away there at the penalties list. Kane Ryder is required to start from the pit lane for impeding in qualifying at Misano. He's not here so far, though, as far as I am aware, unless I've missed him. And I haven't. So he is perhaps going to be taking that in a future round, or maybe that will be wiped away as a result for Kane Ryder as he misses this round here today. There is also a change in driver classes. We said last week that after round 4 was when the drivers could be changed from gold over to silver, or vice versa. Well, David Roberts is the only one change. He's gone from gold to silver, and now he's on pole in the silver class. So there might be some silver drivers pretty aggrieved about that, but Race Control are monitoring everything, of course, and will continue to make changes after round 5 if there are any required. But Roberts has taken to the silver class very quickly here. He's currently on pole.
Yeah, leading the way. I don't know how people are going to feel about that, to be blatantly honest. They brought him down from there as well. There was a message from RC, which I find quite interesting. Most penalties reviewed in qualifying will be for qualifying impeding. Now, the problem is with that is you've got 29 race cars out on the circuit. At some point, somewhere, somebody will be impeding something. So I'm going to be interested to see how they police this, because that definition of impeding, what is it? Is it somebody like Loretti getting used as a draft? Is it somebody not moving out the way when somebody else is on a hot lap? Because surely at one point they're all going to be on a hot lap. So I'm interested in how this is going to police at this circuit.
Well, there you go. There's the first of them. Giuliano Senese has got a penalty for qualifying impeding. And, well, he's certainly pulled out the way now to absolutely make sure he doesn't do it again. But it's too late now. He's going to be starting from the pit lane. I think that note was also half for us to not be wondering aloud like we normally do about what the penalty's for. We've got some clarification and some early sense of what it is going to be for. The battle for pole is a pretty interesting one at the moment. Danny Davison, Phil Vella and Craig Edwards have been exchanging it in the last few moments. Phil Vella has just moved up to second. Actually, he just set his personal best, but he's about halfway around the lap for another go here as Edwards comes into the final corners. Jordan McDonnell just came over the line, but he's a couple of seconds down on his previous best, and so won't improve. Same for Jack Mara, who's slowed down to get near to his Also Moves teammate. They may well be helping each other in this qualifying session as Craig Edwards comes out of that final corner now and on to the start-finish line. The start-finish straight, and Edwards goes over the line with a 12.5. That's not quite as quick as what he's done before, and he stays second.
Yeah, he did 112.2, 112.2, 4, 2.1, 3.4. So Edwards has got a bit of work to do here. Jordan McDonnell in behind him, Jack Mara in behind that, and Jordan Mazzaroli kicking off the top 6 at the moment. It's going to be quite interesting to see where are we at with a second. Stanese, but he's got a pit lane start, so Stevens is the first one outside of that second range. So that's basically going to put 17 drivers on top of each other. That's going to be very, very interesting indeed here. So we'll see how they get on.
Curtis Webb is not one of them. Here we go, with a long message from Race Control. Impeding usually takes in these factors. If the driver's on a hot lap, if they both are, usually fair game. If not, then they are perceived as speeding. Impeding, sorry. They're all speeding. Based on these normal roads, but yes, impeding. As I was referencing earlier, if they're both on lap times, then they aren't going to be penalised. The driver in front is not going to be penalised for being slower, in effect, and just being caught by a faster driver while they're both doing lap times. It's on the faster driver, effectively, to make space. If you're both doing lap times, you've got to make your own space. As Danny Davison's just done that, he's gone to the top. That's a 12.1, and surely he's going to have sealed pole.
Yeah, he's made a massive improvement here as well. 12.116. Savella's a little bit 1/10 plus outside of that. Savella's got his hands full at the moment here. I'm wondering if he's in that 42 machine. It's a teammate tucked in right behind him. I'm surprised they haven't gone the other way round and put the teammate in front of him, but it depends who that is in that. Is that 99 machine there? Is Aidan Coote? So maybe Aidan's just not quite got the speed there, but there is another teammate in front of him to be able to help him.
Yes, it's teammates everywhere here for Phil Vella. Oh, and that wasn't particularly helpful, I don't think. That might have been more of a distraction than anything. As, by the way, Curtis Webb's just come over the line again to complete his 8th lap of the session. He really needs to improve with that one,
Ooh,
and he does. 8th place. Wow, he will breathe a big sigh of relief there because that session was looking ugly for a while. He's got up to the front now into the top 10 and he's rescued this session. Here comes Phil Vella in the meantime. Can he gain that 10th of a second as he comes into this final sector of this lap? That was turn 9, really close to the wall through there. This is turn 10 and then down in towards 11 before getting onto East Shoreline Drive. It's going to be the run to the line for Phil Vella as his teammate spins in the background, Aidan Coote. What's going to happen here for Phil Vella? Can he improve enough to get up the order? It doesn't look like it. It's not a bad lap time. It's a 12.4, and that lap time, if he'd said it for the first time, would have been good enough. Got up into 7th place. However, it's not as quick as his previous lap times, and he is going to stay second. What's going to happen in the silver class? Because in these last couple of moments, Alex Stevens has taken the pole position, but Dave Roberts in his first race as a silver driver is going to come across the line here as well and not quite get there. 12.9 for him. In the background, Stevens doesn't come out the final corner to complete his lap. He's going to pull into pit lane, but it looks like he's going to take silver class pole position.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me is look at this. David Gallo dead last.
He's not got a proper lap in, I don't think.
I don't think he has, to be honest with you. That is dead last. Angus Milne in 10th. Hilly moves his way up into 12th as well. But yeah, poor old David Gallo, not good.
That is a long race for him in 29th. It's not going to be an easy circuit to overtake on, that's for sure. And so we could see some of those down towards the back pitting in early, taking a risk that there aren't going to be no stop races from some of these guys up towards the front of the field as the qualifying session draws to a close. Maserati pox it at the fountain section, and Craig Edwards continues on. 3rd place in this qualifying session. He's 3rd place in the championship as well. Finished exactly where he started last week at Misano in 9th position. He will hope to finish where he started again here in 3rd, especially if most of his other championship contenders can be behind him, like Curtis Webb. Phil Vella is one position in front of him, though, as we're about to see in this starting grid. This is it then for the round 5 at Long Beach. It's Danny Davison on the pole alongside Phil Vella. Craig Edwards, as we were just saying, 3rd place ahead of Jordan McDonnell. It's Marcus Watson who's back again in 5th position ahead of Jack Mara, who took pole last week. Jordan Maseroli and Curtis Webber on row 4 ahead of Scott Bartine and Angus Milne rounding out the top 10. It's Daniel Lackland and Mark Hilly who round out row 6. Then it's Alex Stevens in 13th place ahead of Dave Roberts. There's the first two in silver. Will Ryan and Madeline McGee are next, with Aidan Coote stuck in the middle of those silvers from 17th alongside Douglas Gowans. Jake Robillard and Marcus Knitzer around at the top 20, with Juliana Senese and Daniel Byrne just outside of that top 20. 23rd has gone to Tristan McLaren with Brett Douglas alongside. Scott Pocock and Nathan Rattley on row 13. And Chris Swadling and Nathan Verney, the final drivers, on a full row. David Gallo is on his own in 29th. Those three drivers at the back will be the pace car drivers, or indeed race control members, if indeed we require any intervention from the safety car. And the consensus is that we will get a safety car intervention at some point in the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, apparently that's what they're saying. It's highly likely that we'll get a safety car.
Yes, very likely according to them. Yeah. Well, let's see if that is true. As a result, we could see some drivers taking it quite long. Actually, so we look at some sort of sea life centre. Is that? Don't know.
Just wait for people to get onto the grid, mate. Nobody's on there at the moment, so we're sort of just chilling and waiting. There's a couple of people that are on there. Alex Stevens is on the grid. There he is.
Not many, is there, considering we're... So it's going on at the moment. Just looking at the surroundings and looking at how undesirable it all looks.
You don't like this circuit?
Well, I quite like Long Beach, actually, circuit, but I'm not sure I'd like to go to LA, really. Which is effectively where it is, by the way, if you don't know the geography. We're not... I'm not sure if it actually counts as in the city of LA, but it's certainly nearby, and it doesn't look very nice, to be honest. To be honest, but there you go. Anyway, never mind. That's not to worry about in the sim. There was a time in iRacing when we all thought that making this kind of circuit wasn't possible because of all the buildings and whatever. You'd think you need so much the file or whatever you call it will be so big that it would never be put into iRacing. But here we are. We've got Long Beach and Bale these days, and they do look good in iRacing. I've got to say, even if I don't like the look of the surroundings, they've made it look very realistic anyway to what the real life circuit does look like.
Yeah, I do wonder if it actually, to a degree, looks like that. I know they say they make it as realistic as possible, but as we know, things change, right? I went back to where I grew up the other week up in London, and oh my God, I wouldn't even recognise the place. It was just like a concrete jungle. There was houses of God knows flats all over the place. So I do wonder whether or not this is as it is, or if you went there, would you sit back and go, oh, that's not on the track, but that's there. That's not on the track, but that's it. Do you know what I mean?
I think if you were like a local, you'd probably recognise the differences, but I'm not sure if we went, we've really recognised what was different. To be honest with you, I think it's probably quite similar. It certainly feels quite realistic to what you see in the real world when you're watching races. Although, as I say, we've never been. This griding is taking a very long time today, for some reason. Not sure quite why. I was actually wondering whether we'd disconnected or something strange had gone on, but. I'll find a couple of drivers in. Yeah, we don't normally get 5-minute gridding, but
I thought it was only 3. We don't normally get 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes normally for this series, but 5 minutes today. Well, it's better than a warm-up session. I've got to say, I find warm-up session completely pointless.
I do as well.
So
it's the ones that have qualifying then have a warm-up session.
Like, I mean, what is the point? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bit that confuses me the most. Why have a qualifying, then have a warm-up, then have the race?
If we had 2 races in an evening, then maybe a warm-up session in between makes sense. But having a warm-up session after qualifying, it's hopefully we'll stay that way without that in this series. The drivers are now finally getting gridded up here and ready for what's going to be a very, very important plunge down in towards turn number 1 at this circuit. 45 minutes of racing ahead of us, with a few seconds to go. The final drivers get onto the grid. And Giuliano Sinese will be the only one who doesn't, of course, because he has that qualifying ban. Not qualifying ban, sorry. He'll have to start from the pit lane, I should say. That will put him straight to the back of the field and leave us with a gap on the grid. So, very shortly, the lights will be coming on. And this race will be underway. The Player One Sim Super Formula Lights Championship heading into its second half here from Long Beach. It's Davison from the front row already, challenged by Phil Vella, who's got off to a great start. Great launch off the line, and through the bend in the road on this front straight, he's going to have the shorter run as well, down in towards turn number 1 here. He pulls across even, and indeed the championship leader takes the race lead here. It's 3 wide for second. In the meantime, there's going to be a squeeze. Oh, it's going to be carnage. It's going to be carnage back here as the second place battle descends.
Oh my God.
There's drivers everywhere. There's cars up in the air. There's a stoppage, a blockage on the racetrack, and not even a corner into this race. It's already happened here at Long Beach.
Oh my God, what absolute carnage going in. I cannot tell you the people that were involved in that, but I will give you a rundown on it very, very quickly here as well. We'll have a look back at that, let them get through the first couple of laps, and then we'll go Davidson, McGee, Robillard, Roberts, Knitzer, Ackland, Ryan, Byrne, all involved, Pocock, Swadlin. There was a lot of drivers involved with that, and we will have a look back at that one, give or take in the next lap or so once it's all started to settle down. But yeah, mass chaos. Oh!
Wow, no, and there's a change for the lady. Oh, there's contact, and Phil Bella's upside down. Can you believe it? The championship leader's upside down coming out of the final corner, and he's going to get hit here. He's going to get hit by multiple drivers. Oh my goodness me. He can barely see him there. He's camouflaged quite well with the concrete barriers on the left-hand side. It's absolute carnage here on the first lap of this race. What is going on here? As Craig Edwards takes the lead at the end of the opening lap, it's carnage at Long Beach, and there's someone straight on. Someone with damage there's gone straight on at the hairpin as well. There's pit stops and all sorts happening out there at the moment. Oh my goodness me, what a big moment for the lead of this race as Phil Vella goes upside down.
I don't even know what's going on. I cannot even justify what's going on. We're already there with Phil Vella. Look at that. And then you've just got these cars coming at us as well. And it's just going to be carnage. We've been hit at the same time. What is absolutely bonkers start to this race. As you say, we've got people in pit lane. We must have a safety car. I'm pretty sure Jimmy's out in that car. he's sitting there at the end of pit lane. Surely that's got to be the case, because it has been absolutely bonkers. Swadlin's in the pits, Watson's in. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't even know who's leading. I think Edwards is leading. Marcus Watson is leading.
Apparently, according to the timing, Chris Swadling's leading, but that can't be true. So they're all going to... Oh dear, there's someone in the barriers down here as well as Phil Vella, actually, down at the hairpin. It's... who is that? That is Scott Pocock, I think, who is stopped on the racetrack. Now then, let's try and pick the bones out of this. 3 wide in towards turn 1. The driver on the outside there doesn't quite know they're 3 wide, I don't think. And indeed they're just trying to get turned in and just runs out of space. Have a look at that. The car up in the air. And then you see a couple of Automoves drivers just moving to the left-hand side to avoid, and then it all happens behind. Goodness me. It was always going to happen through turn 1, and look at that.
Bang, bang. Over he's going to go. He's going to mount a nose as well. Gee whiz, what an absolute nut start to a race. We normally talk about Watkins Glen going up through the S's on cold tyres, but that was just bonkers. So many people have pitted. It's just nuts.
Well, yeah, Jordan McDonnell has been in. I think that was scheduled more than anything else. He's decided.
I want to pick up something really quickly, though. I don't know if he was the one that hit Viv Vella. You know, Vella got hit, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't think it was McDonnell, actually. I'll just go through before we get... let's have a look here to see who it was. It's into the final corner. It's a brave jab down the inside, I've got to say. It's number 77, which is Marcus Watson, who went down the inside there. He lost the lead to Craig Edwards as a result down towards turn 1. Watson's going to get, I'd imagine, slapped with a penalty for that. I mean, there's not much space on the inside there, and if you're trying to make the move at the hairpin, then you've got to do it cleanly. It certainly wasn't a clean overtake.
Did he get hit by that? Was there? Look. So he goes up here. Both of them go shooting up into the air. Jordan, he's there. Is he? Did he get hit before that?
No, it's after McDonnell. It was one of Vella's teammates, actually. I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no, there he is. In the back there.
Yeah, that's smart. He saw the safety car coming and thought, I'm going to duck into pit lane. The problem is, there might not be any pit stops at all in this race. That's the worry, I think, for Jordan McDonnell. Giuliano Senese, for some reason, decided not to exit the pit lane at the immediate start of this race, but he is back out there now. He's on the same lap as Vella and Pocock, but this is terrible news for Phil Vella. As I was saying earlier on, his drop round is a 26th place finish from the Hockenheim ring, and he's going to lose his championship lead in a big, big way if this result stands towards the end and he's lapped behind the others. He's going to find it very difficult to make up places.
Davidson's out as well. Davidson is out, so he's had enough.
Disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected. Did kind of get smashed into at the beginning, though, mate. You know what I mean? Kind of understandable, but yeah, good luck for RC picking that one out of the pocket.
We'll see what they do about that. Apparently, Giuliano Senese's wheel died, so that's why he is a couple of laps behind. As well as having that qualifying start.
That was a shame for him, because that pit lane start wouldn't have been a bad idea, would it?
No,
he would have been there and literally just got to pick the bones out of everybody and wiggled his way through. He could have gained quite a lot of positions, but fortunately for Senese, no B.
He's delayed then, as is Pocock and Vella, who have now returned to the race. Dave Roberts is also a lap down with them. He had a long stop. Daniel Ackland has decided to come in, as well as Adrian Loretti, Madeline McGee, Jake Robillard, Chris Swadling and Jordan McDonnell, as we saw. Not all of them with damage, but I think some of them. Certainly we saw for Swadling and McGee, they were involved in the opening lap smash there. So some pit stops already happening, and the pace car in the meantime is going to pull away, and Marcus Watson will soon be in control of the field. But I do continue to wonder how long he's going to be there for after that incident at the final corner. Race control will be very busy at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to be at the moment. We're going to have to wait for the messages to come through. I think they might come through quite thick and fast, so we will find out what they're going to do. But at the moment, Marcus Watson's got the lead. How are they going to handle single file? Hopefully the single file through the the last one. Now, if Watson's got an idea here, he'll bolt as soon as he goes around this corner.
He's going to. I think. I know he's going to wait. I think that's the expected place to go. Is that the final cut? He's going to cause a smash here at the exit. I think people are going to run into the back of one another in the background if they're not too careful. But hopefully they've all been very attentive on the restart there, and they're going to get away with that as Marcus Watson gets us back under green again here in the sunshine at Long Beach. What a chaotic start to this race! Already a safety car, as expected here from this circuit. It's now time for the proper racing though, and there's lap traffic pulling out of the way. Oh my word! Adrian Loretti squeezing through the middle there as he overtakes Manley McGee towards turn number 1. Side by side they go, and that's true. John McDonnell in the meantime has overtaken Douglas, who's off of the fountain section just beforehand. He's gone off through turn 1.
Oh, another one off. Brett Douglas is basically sitting the wrong way. We'll have a look back at that at the moment. Back up front though, Craig Edwards has got Curtis Webb tucked in right behind him. Marcus Watson's there out in front leading, but we're not sure for how long. Jack Mara in behind him as well. This is just going to be mental now. We've got 36 minutes. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to handle this. We've had half the field in, we've had half the field not in, and at the moment it's going to be very tough to decipher who's going to be where.
And indeed, who's going to make pit stops at all here as Douglas now jumps back to pit lane. We'll catch up with that incident in a few moments time as Brett Douglas returns to the pits lane. There's who stopped and who hasn't. McDonnell is the first of them, but he may have been involved in that incident with Douglas. Side by side between Bartine and Hilly in the meantime. Across the start-finish line, in towards turn number 1. It's Hilly on the inside line with Bartine stuck on the outside, and he's going to have to give that one. Oh, careful of the barriers. Goodness me, Bartine very nearly went in the wall himself there.
Yeah, he did. It looks like Phil Vella, Ackland, Pocock and Sinesi. I'm hoping they were just slow. You can see the gainers on the left-hand side. Biggest gainer so far.
Edwards!
Yes.
Edwards. Craig Edwards is off from a big opportunity. Craig Edwards spins off the circuit, and suddenly Curtis Webb is moving into the championship lead by some distance as we run at the moment. This is a fantastic start to the race for him. Oh, he very nearly hits the wall. Scott Bartine is going to come through on our right hand side here surely in a moment. Here he comes on the back straight down in towards turn 9. Here we go. He's surely going to brake later and get through, and he does. Scott Bartine moves in front of Mark Hilly, and that is a good overtake from him into the top 5, up 4 places so far. Here's Gallo. He's just in behind Daniel Bowen, who's not too far away from Jordan McDonnell, by the way, who's now right in behind Craig Edwards in all of this.
Yeah, you can see the Collins boys are in different coloured liveries this week. That's going to send us a little bit of confusion. Burns in pit lane now, so Gallo's gone and freed himself and allowed to run away. But at the moment, it's all going off towards the front. Jack Mara is under pressure from Curtis Webb here. I want to have a look back at Douglas's incident, but there's so much going on. I don't even know if I've got time.
Mara's just overtook Webb, so that's an exchange between teammates. I think Webb's really uncomfortable around this circuit. And there you go! Oh, he's nearly crashed into the wall! Curtis Webb, who is the championship leader as we run. Second place coming into today. Very nearly found himself in the wall. He's very uncomfortable around this circuit right now, and it's very telling as well.
Yeah, it is. I do apologise for that. I didn't realise the standards had actually come onto the screen there, so they've gone off now as well. Thanks so much, Wackle, for that one. I wasn't aware they were still actually up, but they were taken off, so I'm hoping you saw the start at least of what went on, and hopefully it was just a button pressed by accident. But lots going on here, and still action taking place with Marcus Knitzer here as well. He's got Jordan McDonnell in front of him, and still swapping around positions further back here. McGee also there as well. Bring back the spreadsheet, please, says Chris Mania. Just the last minute or so. All good, thanks, mate. I must have just tapped the button by mistake.
Just
my fat fingers, Mr. O'Leary.
Shielding themselves with the spreadsheet. Maseroli gets past Webb as well in the meantime. Curtis Webb's going backwards here in towards the fountain section. He's just lost third place now to Jordan Maseroli, and he's got a queue behind him. It's like they're queuing for some food at a burger van at the moment. They're all queuing up to take a place from Curtis Webb. It's Scott Bartine next in line. Mark Hilly after that, then Angus Milne as well. This is not looking good for Curtis Webb. None of the championship contenders having particularly good races at the moment.
No, it's all going a little bit wrong there. Drive through for car 77. That's Marcus Watson for Racing Rules. We think that's the incident with Phil Vella. I think that's basically a slam dunk, isn't it, really, for him? but lots going on at the moment as well. So yeah, still action all the way through. I do want to have a look back at Craig Edwards' slide though, see how that was, whether or not that was self-inflicted or whether or not that was contact here for Marcus Edwards, and we'll see how he gets on.
Marcus Edwards, Craig Edwards?
Craig Edwards, sorry.
Name scratches like I do. Over the curbs, and yeah, that was self-inflicted. Oh, he did grab the wall as well. That might be damage. He didn't come in, so I guess he hadn't, and he's got away with that, but he's a lucky boy if he has. This is Brett Douglas's spin. He was with McDonnell and near him. I thought McDonnell might have been involved, but no, Douglas very much involved with himself. He got net-coded there by the looks of it. Yeah,
massive dose of netcode for Brett Douglas. Unfortunately, he is off with him and McDonnell. But Bartain, Webb, Hilly. Is this going to be Hilly's opportunity to have a go now at Marcus Webb here?
Well, Webb has just been overtaken by Bartain, so Hilly will see that and see an opportunity now up in front of him as we already approach 1/3 distance in this race, by the way. We stopped there on the
Brett Douglas,
on the
I think that was Douglas again, had another
right,
incident.
yep. Yeah, well, I don't think it's an incident. I think he's just trying to let people through, which I don't blame him for, to be honest. He's just trying to stay everybody's way. At 75 and 34 with no further action. That's Jordan McDonnell and also I think Brett Douglas. Yeah, he did. Oh no, Danny Davison. Sorry, Danny Davison. So that must have been the start, was it?
Yep.
They make contact.
Watson's in for his drive-through.
Yeah, Watson's in for his drive-through. That's why Davison is so far down. He's out the race here right now, but no further action for McDonnell on that occasion. And that's I think that's from lap 1, and they'll get away with that. I mean, there was so much going on in lap 1. It's hard to really penalise anyone in that, especially in that 3 wide moment up at the front. When everyone was running towards turn 1. I mean, you can say whether it's a smart idea to run 3 wide in towards turn 1. That's besides the point. I don't think anyone was solely at fault for that.
No, I think it was just a bit of everybody going in there. Pocock's had a drama, Robillard's had a drama. Yevon, let me know what team name is wrong, and I will correct it as best as I possibly can on the fly. But let me know which team name is wrong, and I will deal with it there as well. We do get sent the sheet from Tom, so not solely taking responsibility for that.
We will, yes, indeed. I wasn't going to add anything there. Into the final corner for Bartain and Webb again. Just with somebody to follow, seems to maybe just have found a little bit of speed here as the first 15 minutes now tick by. Settling in a bit here at Long Beach, which is a good thing after the carnage of the opening laps of this race. New fastest lap of the race indeed from Curtis Webb, and he's going to have a chance in towards turn 1 as he looks down the inside. He's not going to go past Scott Bartain on this occasion, and he's starting to find his feet a little bit here by the looks of it.
Yeah, he is a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Looks like there's been some drama towards the back end here.
Gallo and Verney.
No, I think so, but they've also caused others to slow right down. Not really sure what's going on at the moment. I think that's Gallo trying to move out the way.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, no. That's silly. You're never going to make the corner. Oh, dear,
Big stack up from everybody in behind him.
Oh, no, that was the problem on the exit. I don't know if you saw that at the end of the replay. He got smashed. He got run up the back there as he was trying to come to pit lane. Never do this, by the way. If you are a driver in a race car of any description, don't take that type of line. But then he gets smashed here. Look at this.
Oh, Verney.
Oh, in towards the pit lane. Miscommunication there. But that all stems from the final corner there. Never take that tight of a line because the turning circle, sorry, it's not big enough on these, or on any race car really, as Curtis Webb closes in here on Scott Bartain. He was quite close last time, couldn't get through. This time he's fully alongside and he's going for it. Oh, Bartain is trying to hold on. He's going to give space there and he just back out of it. Finally, Bartain. Curtis Webb back onto the podium again.
Yeah, Curtis Webb makes his way forward there as well. Should be motorsport instead of racing. Who should be motorsport instead of racing? Let me know. I will try and correct it there as well.
Oh! I thought Webb was going in the wall.
That's all right. I thought I'd let you finish off with your oohs at that point. There as well. Alex Stevens leading the silver class at the moment. McLaren, Knitzer, Gowan's in behind that. What happened? Douglas is further down after his slide. Obviously, he's dropped all the way down to 27th overall for Roberts, and is about 11th in class. So the man has just moved up there. So there we go. Hilly's team name should be Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport.
Oh,
All right, bear with.
Orbit Drop Bear Racing. Yeah, but there we go. I thought it was just Orbit Drop Bear, as he said in the chat as well. Just that's all I know them from. I didn't know the racing was tagged on at all. But there you go. In the standings, over the line again for Curtis Webb, who's just up in front of Scott Bartine, and in towards turn number 1. They are going to stay that way round as well. So Bartine continuing to put the pressure on, and a close rub with the wall there. The smoke from chapping the wall may well come up a little bit more often than these guys are actually touching the wall, by the way. There's not too much to worry about generally with these drivers getting close as they now make their way through the middle sector of the track. Only really in the top 10 where there are close battles. Jordan McDonnell, though, is an interesting one. He's up to 9th place now on the back of Aidan Coote and Craig Edwards. Can maybe McDonnell win this race? If everybody has to stop, then surely he is going to get out front and win this race.
Yeah, it's a possibility here as well. I'm still trying to correct that team name. Give me 2 seconds on this one while I go and fumble around. Unfortunately, I was not given team name, so it's off what they put into their SDK driver app here. Mark Hilly, I have changed now, so it should say Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport, and it does. So there we go. Shortened it to Ivra Ewan because we have specific names for endurance team racing, but Ivra made us enter with identical names, so left the motorsport.
Okay, that's
there you go.
that makes sense. That's where I know them from. Well, not only where I know them from, but yes, that's certainly what I comment on the most throughout, and hence why I thought their team name was shorter than it actually really is. This is McDonnell, meanwhile, in towards turn number 1 for Aidan Coote as well in the 8th position. So he's looking in a strong position here. Again, we were chatting before the race about how little fuel you use at Long Beach. I wonder, even with just that one safety car, how possible it is that these drivers are going to be able to make no stop. Even in that case, to be fair, McDonnell's going to get a top 10 finish here, barring any major problems in the next 25 minutes. So that is, that's still a good result. But it's not going to be the win if the 8 in front don't have to pit. It's not going to be the victory. But if they do have to pit, I think he'll be out in first.
Yeah, I do wonder how close this is going to be, but we're never going to actually find out until a little bit later on to see where they go. Normally within about the sort of 10 to 15 mark remaining, we'll start seeing them jump in. But as you say, I wonder how much they've actually saved with that safety car and whether or not they can get to the end. I'm going to find it quite interesting how this is going to work out, I think, here. Who's going to be saving, who's going to be not saving? Has McDonnell got any form of saving going on at this moment in time? But we'll see how he goes on here as well for Jordan McDonnell. Is he going to go and save down into turn number 1? Have a listen. No,
I mean, he's already stopped, so I'd be surprised if he's saving any fuel.
Yeah. So there we go. Thanks for confirming. I can go give Mark a hard time for getting the name wrong on the SDK driver app. Yes, you can, mate. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. That's all there. So yeah, go and give him grief. Silver battle. This is going to be interesting. McLaren and Stevens fighting out for the lead in silvers.
And McLaren did get past a couple of moments ago into Stevens, and here we go. Oh, this is unusual. On the inside in towards turn 6. You don't see that very often in this battle for the lead in class. Side by side in towards 7 now,
McLaren's
and he's going to,
or
8 rather. He's going to get a good run out here. Very good run out the corner for Tristan McLaren. Marcus Knitz is going to be loving this. He's gaining loads of time, as you can see in the background. But this is Stevens on the outside, McLaren on the inside, in towards the fast right-hander, and he's right round the outside. Stevens stays in front in the silver category, just ahead of Tristan McLaren. Yeah,
McLaren got a good run out there beforehand, but then he just unfortunately couldn't get the speed to go alongside him, coming onto Seaside Way into Firestone, and then Stevens was able just to go and sweep right round him and say, I'll have that back. So great battle down in silvers at the moment, one of the closest battles on the race circuit. Ackland looks like he's had an issue. Bernie's had no one crashed on the straight.
Oh,
he's going to get it
stopped in time. Oh my word, he very nearly didn't. And this is getting very exciting for the lead in the silver category. McLaren, Stevens and Knitzer all battling away, and that was so close to contact, and then McLaren was nearly in the wall down at turn 1.
Oh my God, how did he stop that? I literally thought that was going to be a torpedo straight into the wall. The problem is they're bringing everybody else in around him. Gowans is not too far back. Ryan's not a million miles away. So for McLaren now, he needs to kind of get on his bike if he can and try and escape up the road, because at the moment he's got these four coming at him quite thick and fast here, and old Dougie Gowans ain't too far behind either in that full throttle racing machine. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, whether or not McLaren can escape, or is he going to get brought back in?
Well, it's certainly got others into the fight here in the silver category. This is remarkable stuff in this class as they come out that final corner, and it's Knitzer who's quite close now on the exit of that corner, on the way down in towards turn number one. In fact, he's very close to Stevens as they come over the line alongside. He'll be down the inside here at turn number one, but he's almost pulled out too early because he's not got very far alongside, and so Stevens gets through on the outside line into second position. Knitzer can't get past, and this is all going to help Tristan McLaren if they fight over second place like this.
Yep. It's going to basically allow McLaren to escape. He's a second up the road at the moment. Douglas Gowans in behind these guys, looking quite patiently, I feel, just sat there looking at them fight. Knitzer's going to drink to the right. Is he going to make it into the left-hander? No, he's not. But he's going to look at trying to get in the run, I think, onto Seaside Way. Can he get that cutback done and get that carrier speed? Yeah, no, little dink on the wall.
It's a common thing around here, but it's going to prevent him from making his way through into turn 9 as Scott Bartine comes in, by the way, from the top 5, and that is going to drop him down. So maybe they will all have to stop, and Jordan McDonnell is really the race leader here. That would be a fantastic result for him if indeed he is out of the final corner again for the silver class battle. And Knitzer is just about as close again here, but he needs to pull out alongside a little bit later on in the straight and get further alongside the corner. And this time Stevens knows he's under more pressure because he goes on the defensive. This is going to be a long way around the outside for Knitzer. Oh, he might break too late there. Oh, he's just curved the wall. Goodness me. Still side by side to the fountain, and Stevens stays in front. That was all on the line there from Knitzer.
Oh, he literally just, yeah, he just picked them up and went for it for Knitzer. Gowans now, though, has allowed him to come straight back out behind him, because obviously with the fighting that they've had at Knitzer's dive, but you've also got Will Ryan in behind that, and as well, I think actually behind Dougie Gowans at the moment, that is one of the back markers. That's Vella trying to come through the field at the same time here. So Vella obviously being the back marker, does he get involved? Does he go past? Does he run? Because obviously he is quicker, but what's Vella going to do?
Well, he's a lap behind them, so he shouldn't get involved, really. There's no overall positions even to be gained here. Of course, everyone scores points from the same system here, so it's an overall point system that Vella's not even going to benefit from. He's really hit with the hairpin there. And just in front of him, a pit stop for Gowans. So if they're all going to have to stop, then Gowans has decided, well, we're just slowing each other down here. I might as well try and come into pit lane and try and get ahead of them. And if they fight like this, then he will do. Knitzer there, nearly in the wall on the bend in the straight. Inside line for turn 1, and Stevens breaks late on the outside, who'll stay in front.
Oh man, Knitzer is, dude, he's giving it everything from everywhere. He's having a right old go at the moment as Marcus, and he's jinking, he's trying places where you wouldn't normally get overtakes done. He's going for opportunities all over the place at the moment for Knitzer. He's going to go again. He pulls out again here, looking, nothing doing. And now he's got to go again. Stevens is looking raggedy at the moment. He is not looking good in that machine with Marcus Knitzer right up behind him.
He's looking very close in behind here as Knitzer, as he works his way down the straight now. Stevens just in front, Vella still continuing on in behind. Shouldn't have to stop though, Vella, so he'll just wait for them to stop, and then he can go and push on a bit later on in the day. As they get into the hairpin now, where it all went wrong for Vella, as Marcus Watson got down his inside, and unfortunately put him up into the air and upside down at the end of the opening lap, as Alex Stevens again goes on the defensive from Knitzer, weaves around a little bit to try and keep him behind in towards turn number 1 again. Knitzer looks outside, inside, it's inside this time round. Breaks later up, it's a squeeze, and Stevens does a good job there to squeeze Knitzer as much as possible without making contact with him.
Oh my God, that couldn't have been any closer. The interesting thing for this as well is Stevens has been one of the fastest over the practice sessions, sitting in second at the moment.
No! Oh, Knitzer probably grabbed the wall that time. I've been nervous every time they go through turns 5. I've got to say, this car does not like it well, no car does really. It's a terrible corner, but Knizner's found himself in the wall, and I'd be amazed if that's not damage of some sort.
Well, we're going to have a look on board and see what Knizner's got going on at the moment. Has he got straight steering? Oh, he's slightly left.
Yeah, but the damage is more. Yeah, you can see it's not only about letting his teammate through there, he's also letting another driver through. So it might not all be in the suspension. There might be some other form of damage there. I think he'll be coming in this time round. Is he missing the left-hand side of his car there? Am I misreading that? I think he's missing some bodywork as well. Not that we're going to be able to see now from the pit lane cameras because they are terrible.
They are, yeah, quite awful, to be blatantly honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to see it off there.
See, that's more exposed than normal, I think.
Yeah,
there
the case come on. Yeah, the case come back on.
So,
yeah.
And there you go. So he had to make a pit stop anyway, and he will get that damage repaired in the meantime. So he'll get back out again as we go back to 5th place in the gold class. Not sure where this is overall. I'm going to presume it's 5th as well. But Angus Milne versus Craig Edwards here.
Yeah, it is on the left-hand side there, back on the overall standings. Edwards chasing down Angus Milne. So interesting there. Marcus Watson coming through the field, sitting in 11th at the moment. He's had a drive-through. He hasn't actually stopped yet for Marcus Watson. But again, that does bring up the idea of whether or not we're going to do that. It does look like Peacock's out on track. So I'm not quite sure why the safety car is already there. But at the moment...
I think that's a mistake. He's gone back again.
Yeah, nobody's slowing down here. Edwards and Milne. Edwards on that inside. Milne's just not going to fight that. He's going to let him go.
Whoa, quite late. Oh, he just makes it. Guess maybe that's just their line they take every time, but it gets very close to the wall. Edwards end up to 5th, ahead of Angus Milne. That's a good recovery for Edwards after his spin through this corner and the restart, but he just take a lot of that curb, which is part of the reason why. So he's up to 5th. Curtis Webb is 3rd. Masroli is 2nd. Everybody inside the top 4, top 5 indeed. Mara's leading the race. Everyone inside the top 5 now having a good race, as opposed to earlier on where it was less good. Apart, of course, from Phil Vella, who's down in 22nd. Not only is he going to lose the championship lead, I think he's going to be outside the top 5 at the end of the day. Maybe that's a stretch. He'll be down to 5th, but even so, he's certainly going to lose the lead.
Yeah, definitely is at the moment for Phil Vella, and he's still sitting, I believe, a lap down as well. He's waiting. I think he needs another safety car to be able to go there. Dan Byrne lap down, Roberts, Vella, Pocock and Verney. Verney's a lap down as well. Douglas has had another thing at the same time, so he's having a rough one. Watson's just about to go up the inside of Stevens. Oh, can Stevens stop it? No, not without a slide. That's going to bring Ryan right in behind him. This silver battle kicking off again.
It is. Now, late apex here for Will Ryan. He's not going to get a run, though, on Stevens this time round. Tristan McLaren continues to lead with 5 seconds now. And indeed, Marcus Watson in between him and 2nd place. So, Will Ryan get in the slipstream here. And maybe there will be a chance. There's not very good straight line speed for Stevens on this time round on the way towards turn 1. And he does get through Ryan. So, that is 2nd place now in the silver class for Will Ryan. He'll try and chase down McLaren, who's looking more and more comfortable, like he's going to win this race.
Yeah, he is. Though, got to look at the fact that in the practice sessions, Ryan was on a 1:12.964, the only silver in the 112s at the moment. So for Will Ryan here, if he can do them 112s, then we have a good shout at catching up with McLaren. But McLaren is best time 13:19. Ryan's at the moment on a 13:22, so he's not a million miles away, but I expect that time to come down again for Will Ryan if he's breaking the 112s in practice.
Yeah, mostly in the 112s up towards the front of the field. Angus Milne is on the defensive from John McDonnell here, by the way, as well. That's the 6th position in the overall standings, and McDonnell can't find his way past on this occasion. He's currently 9th in the standings, by the way, at McDonnell, after a couple of races outside of the top 20. He did finish 2nd last week, though, in his best result of the season so far. Can he go one better this week and become our 4th different winner in 5 races? Jack Mara winning would do the same, of course. He's not won yet this season either. It's only Curtis Webb who's a repeat winner as we continue our extraordinary run of having different winners. It took us 8 races to get a repeat winner last season. It's taken us 4 this time round, but my goodness, we get some different and strange results in this series.
Yeah, we definitely do. What's Bernie been up to? He's been causing himself a whole heap of drama here. He ended up in pit lane at one point. I'm not quite sure what Nathan Bernie... Oh, bro. Oh! Ouch.
That will do some damage. He already had damage. Don't forget, he was the one who ran into... Who was that who came in the pit lane strangely earlier? Was it David Gallo?
David Gallo, yeah.
He ran him over, did Vernie.
Oh, he's hit the wall again.
Well, that's him trying to get himself back going again here, and that's why he's having a relatively long stop, Vernie. He's got some damage he's repairing at the moment. In the meantime, while we were away doing that, McDonnell has got through on Mirren. I thought he was quite close on the way towards turn 9, and he might well have got it done there.
Yeah, he's got through there for Jordan McDonnell. Milne's there as well. Knitzel's back battling Dougie Gowans again. Both of these men have pitted here. Yeah, Gowans 2 laps on 18, Knitzel on 20. So they're still continuing to fight here, these guys. And at the moment, Gowans is tucked him in front of him with Knitzel chasing him down. How is Marcus, who was looking very aggressive before the pit stop, going to handle the fact that Dougie Gowans?
And the fact that Knitzel, by the way, is behind Gowans is quite telling, because Chris Swadling, Adrian Loretti and Jake Robillard are all in front from the silver category. Does that mean the same for Tristan McLaren, that he's going to come out behind them as well? We will see a bit later. We'll see if he even has to stop as Knitzel now moves past Gowans on the outside line. He's been making moves and trying to throughout the day so far. He's round the outside and towards turn 1 this time. Inch perfect from Marcus Knitzel, and he's up another position.
Yeah, that was a great overtake there as well from Marcus Knitzel. Did a stellar job on Dougie Gowans. And Gowans is now just going to try and come back at him, but I don't know if he's got a response. Knitzel has looked quick here. I'm not going to lie. And the only reason Gowans caught up last time was Knitzel was having a battle with McLaren at the same time. So it's going to be interesting if Knitzel now escapes up the road. Will Ryan's in pit lane at the moment, so he's gone in and got the job done. But Gowans sitting here, is he going to be able to stay with Knitzel? Because Knitzel was looking quick.
Now let's see. It's going to be very interesting to see where Will Ryan comes in. Comes out rather of the pit lane. Oh, as Gowans scrapes the wall. It's a very long pit lane, don't forget, here. And so the fact that Will Ryan is on the pit exit does not mean he's coming out anytime soon. He's got a long way around the pit lane still to come here. Robillard's already ahead, by the way. Loretti is going to get through as well, is he, with Swadling? Yep, easily done. But I think the top 3 might be set here. Robillard, I think, certainly is going to win this race in the silver class if McLaren and Stevens both have to come in. There is Ryan. He's just behind Knitzel, and he's just behind Gowans as well. And then he scrapes the wall.
Oh my God, how close was that? He come out of the pit lane with so urgent and so much speed that he almost hit the wall in turn 1. That would have been good for Will Ryan, but as you say, he's come out quite far back now. Yeah, it's going to be looking at, where is he at the moment? He's down in 8th. We've got Gowans, Knitzel, Swadling, Loretti, Robillard, Stevens and McLaren. And the only one who hasn't pitted is McLaren and Stevens. So they've got to go in yet. So we're going to find out where they come out. But at the moment, it seems a very long pit lane for that silver class. And they've got a very long run, giving everybody a chance to catch up here.
Well, it's still 10 minutes to go. And we have not quite yet sorted the pit stops. Is that a pass for position?
Yeah, Scotty Bartain goes past Stevens.
Okay. Yeah, one of the gold drivers getting past one of the silvers. So still with 10 minutes to go, we've not yet seen all the stops. I think most of the drivers have been waiting for, hoping there's going to be a second safety car so that they can make it on fuel. But now they're soon going to have to think about stopping again.
Yeah, they're going to have to, you can see on the left-hand side who's got 0, who's got 1, and poor old Senezi's got 2, along with Vernie and McGee and that one. So they've still got to go and into the stops. Well, we think they've got to stop, but we're not 100% sure if they have.
Yep, not 100% sure at all. Let's we go back to Adrian Loretti, who has made that stop earlier on in the race. Marcus Watson's now in from 10th position. So they're slowly trickling in here. We were told at the start of the day, by the way, the pit stop window would be any time from lap 1, as it normally is, to lap 30. The fact we've had a safety car means that they might be able to do 1 or 2 more laps than that to get 31 or 32. However, that's not going to get them all the way home, is it? Even 32 would be another 4 laps after this one, and the lap times are only 1:15. That's only going to get them an extra 5 minutes to maybe 3 minutes to go, but that's not enough at the moment.
No, Knitzel again. He's opened the gap to Gowans by about nearly a second, and he's now closing all over the back of Swadling. I don't know where Knitzel's going to be at the end of this one, but I think it might be definitely a podium here for Marcus, because he is looking speedy here today. Is he going to go dive up the inside? He is. He's going to run side by... Oh, well, it wasn't even side by side. It was job done before they even got to the apex.
It was job done in the end, and so Knitzel gets through into 16th. This is a long way down, though, for Marcus Kunitzer compared to what we saw earlier on from him. As he comes through turn 6 now, he might well have Loretti as well. And he will do. Loretti's just going to let him through almost there, so he makes a mistake out of turn 6. No, Kunitzer can't get down the inside. And Tristan McLaren's now in, the big moment of the race. Can McLaren get out ahead of Robillard and all of these guys?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? that's the question. I don't think we've quite stopped yet for McLaren. Oh, he's on his way now, but where are they? Kunitzer. Oh, how long's he got here?
It's a long way. They need to bring the pit line a lot further up the road there, because he could get going after the pit boxes a lot sooner. Anyway, Kunitzer is in 16th place. Where's McLaren going to be in relation to Robillard? He's going to get Ackland in front of him, and that's normal. It's going to get Marcus Watson in front of him as well, I think. But Tristan McLaren's going to be out in the lead of this race pretty comfortably here. He's driven very, very well and showing the effects of not having traffic around you, because even though he's made a pit stop under green, whereas the others made it just before the safety car, where you lose a lot less time in theory, McLaren's had a lot less traffic to do with this race, and that's why he's come out in front. Meanwhile, the leaders in overall are into the pit lane. Jack Mara, Jordan Masroli and Curtis Webb all making their way out onto the circuit again now as well. Jordan McDonnell easily in front of the race leader, and he's going to win this race, McDonnell, surely by more than 10 seconds unless somebody's saved a lot of fuel.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is McDonnell's win. I think it could also be Tristan McLaren's win here. Stevens is now in pit lane. And what McLaren did do there at his earliest opportunity, he allowed Watson to go through. He wasn't fighting Marcus Watson. McLaren knows this. He's fighting Robillard, Kunitzer, Gowans, Loretti. It's where Stevens is going to come from now. He's just stopped there. He's on his way. Where is Marcus Kunitzer? He's going to go past him. Robillard's going to go past him. And Stevens, unfortunately, could end up down further down, maybe even down in 5th if Loretti can get him here. Oh my God, he's gone down further. 8th.
Could be worse. Oh no, Roberts is a long way away. But yeah, Stevens, wow. That is a long way behind there for Alex Stevens, who comes out onto the circuit again. A few seconds longer in the box, but that's not really made the difference there. He's come out a very, very long way down indeed. Craig Edwards now leads the race, by the way. He's gone on to lap 31 with 5 minutes still to go and 1.5 seconds ahead of Jordan McDonnell. He's only got Aiden Coote behind him now. Masroli is going to... Where's Jack Mara gone? He's back in the pit lane again, Jack Mara. The previous race leader is into the pit lane here. Oh dear, Jack Mara was having such a good race, but he's in again.
And I have no idea why.
Unsafe exit, safe pit exit.
Hold on. So he's entered there. He left here.
Let's just watch this exit. Watch that red line on the left-hand side of us here. Oh my word, that's quite an investigation going on down there. No further action though from race control. Just watch this red line on the exit here.
Oh.
No. I'm not sure in that case.
I'm not entirely sure what he did. I'm wondering if he didn't get it stopped on the way in to pit lane.
Yeah, but then you serve your penalty in the... He's only coming out now, by the way, 43 seconds in the box. You'd serve it in your actual stop if you had it because of something on the way in. Something slid around in the background. Yeah, you'd have it on the way. You'd have it actually in the pit stop if you did that. So I don't know, but Jack Mara is down to 19th, and well, he's going to lose big ground in the championship along with Vela. Here it's going to be Webb, Edwards and Masroli who are going to be the breakaway 3 at the top of this championship at the end of the day. If it holds, of course. Craig Edwards is still yet to pit here, and if he wins, then my goodness, he'll be out front in this championship, and perhaps a repeat winner as well. He's got 2 seconds at the moment at the end of lap 32. I think he'll be in this time though.
Yeah, I think he will, and McDonnell will take the lead, as you say, by a long while. Is Craig Edwards going to go in this time? He's now got traffic in front of him here as well. That is Sanesi in front. Is he going in? He is. That's going to free McDonnell to take the lead. But where's he going to come out in conjunction with Mazzaroli? Rowley's on his way round into Firestone Turn now. This could be bad for Edwards. I think he might even lose this one.
Let's see where he's going to come out. I think it'll be behind these two, though, as he trundles down pit lane. He's not yet stopped in his box yet, I don't think. He's right towards the end. There he is. There's nowhere. There you go. It's just a couple of seconds. So Masroli and Webb are going to get past him here very easily, and that's expected as well. But what about Scott Bartine? Could be quite a close rejoin with him, as he now finally will be able to get off the pit limiter, will he? It's surely going to be Bartine who's going to get this, and he does. Edwards finally out the pit lane now. Mark Healy's going to be quite close. He's going to be on the inside line here on the way towards turn number 1. Careful on the exit, and he's going to get him. Edwards outside the top 5 here, as Masroli and Webb get on the podium. Edwards will lose a little bit of ground in the championship.
Yeah, Mark Hilly got that a little bit wrong now, unfortunately for him. He went in a little bit hot here, but McDonnell out in front. He's saved by 18 seconds for Jordan McDonnell. He should wrap this up with 2 minutes to go.
Masroli started the day, by the way, 30 points behind Curtis Webb, who will be our new championship leader at the end of the day. But the gap will be 21 points to Masroli if it stays as it is. Jordan McDonnell will get up to 276 points as well, with the finish currently for Curtis Webb. He'll be on 321, so just over 50 points behind McDonnell. But he'll be in the game here as he starts his penultimate lap, and Masroli's off! Oh, Masroli! He was going to gain ground in the championship, but Curtis Webb is going to be the big leader now, and Curtis Webb's slowing as well. There may have been contact. Curtis Webb's in the pit lane. Our new championship leader is in the pit lane along with one of his main championship rivals, Jordan Masroli, who hasn't got his front left wheel turning at the moment, and he's crashed on the way to pit lane. It's the penultimate lap of this race, but what has gone on for Webb and Masroli?
Oh, give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to find it. Happened before. There it is there.
Here we go. It's into the final sector. You see Masroli's comfortably in front of Webb. Oh, Masroli's gone deep. He slid, spun into the wall. Webb had nowhere to go.
Oh, both of them broken. His left, look at his
Masroli
left.
had toe. Watch this, but let's just stay with this for a moment. Watch this on the way into pit lane, by the way. He was trying his best to get it in. I don't know why Curtis Webb didn't continue on it. See, the damage didn't seem too bad for him, but you can see for Masroli it was. And have a look at this on the way in towards pit lane. It's not the easiest pit lane to get into anyway here at Long Beach. And have a look at this. Bang! Straight into the pit wall. And Masroli had to tow back to pit lane.
Oh, McDonnell, though, final lap of the race is going to come around and take the win. Scotty Bartane with a second place, if he can stay there. Go, Scotty.
Mark Hilly's going to be third as it stands if Craig Edwards can't get past him. It's Craig Edwards. No, so it's just the livery. I thought he was missing his front wing. He might be in a minute. He looks down the inside. Oh, and he's put him off. There's contact, and the other championship contenders off. They're all off the road this afternoon as Craig Edwards finds the wall through turn 1. He has to let Angus Milne through now, and Mark Hilly's got damage here. Is he going to hold on for a podium with no front right tyre? He might well do. Or is Angus Milne going to take this place on the last lap? Oh my goodness, it's drama on the final lap as Jordan McDonnell comes out the final corner. He's going to take the biggest win we've seen for some time in this series. 27 seconds over the rest of the field in a chaos-filled Long Beach race. It's Jordan McDonnell who wins and vaults himself right into championship contention. Scott Bartine's going to finish second here, but who's going to finish third? Is Mark Hilly going to get there with no front right tyre? He's got 2.5 seconds at the moment over Angus Milne.
He's not really gaining anything. I think Hilly's going to get this. Can he get this rotated?
Ridiculous.
Yes, he can. He's going to come over the line, but look at his front right. It's not even going in the right direction. Mark Hilly, you boy. Oh, Tristan McLaren going to win silver. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Great run from him.
Forgot about silver class in all of that. Marcus Kanitsa, by the way, made a great fist of this towards the end. He overtook loads of drivers, but he's going to fall 2.5 seconds short. Going to be Tristan McLaren with ninth place, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that. A top 10 overall and a silver class win as well. Oh, Long Beach delivers. What a fantastic race.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. If I see you are listening, if we can have McDonnell, Bartane and Hilly and Tristan McLaren in for interviews, please, so we don't get a big rush of everyone. Just them four, that would be amazing. But Curtis Webb coming over the line. Look how far down he is. 15th place.
Wow. That is not what I expected to happen, even at the end of the day. It's going to be only 30 points, by the way, That's going to be his worst result of the season. Or is it, actually? That's not even true, is it? Here. I'm not sure whether... no, it isn't going to be his worst result of the season. Apologies. He finished 18th at the first round at Jerez. And so that 30 points will count towards his score. He'll be on 270. Vela won't be on very much more. At the very minimum, he's going to be on 266 at a very minimum. Might be on a bit more than that. So, Vela might well have the championship lead after all this. One thing I know is it's going to get a lot closer because Jordan McDonnell has taken the race win. He is 26.8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, with Scott Bartine second. And Mark Healy hangs on with 3 wheels turning the right way and 1 the other way. He gets third ahead of Angus Milne, who is chasing him down. Craig Edwards still gets the top 5 after all of that, and so he might well be the championship leader, although we'll do some maths in a moment on that. Nkoop finishes 6th ahead of Marcus Watson, who had that drive-through, and that's why he's down in 7th. Daniel Ackland finishes in 8th position, with Tristan McLaren just in behind. He's the silver class winner. Marcus Knitzer rounds out the top 10. Jake Robillard's on the bottom step of the podium after an alternate pit strategy from him pitting after lap 1. Will Ryan finishes 12th, also a minute back with Adrian Loretti, Chris Rodling, and Curtis Webb, the championship leader at one stage here tonight. It's dropped down to 15th in the end and only gets 30 points for his troubles. Alex Stevens, Jack Meyer, Phil Vella, Dave Roberts, Douglas Gowans, Daniel Byrne and Jordan Masroli, all 1 lap down. Number of championship names in there, by the way, as you know. 2 laps down for Scott Pocock and David Gallo. Giuliano Sinese got that wheel issue sorted eventually, finished 3 down with Brett Douglas. Nathan Verney retired alongside Madeline McGee and Danny Davison, who retired on lap 1 at the end of that one. Goodness me, what a fantastic round that was. Let's work our way up the podium this time rather than down it. And start with Mark Healy, who joins us now. Welcome in, Mark. Good to have you with us. Congratulations on finishing at the podium with 1 wheel pointing the wrong way. How was that final lap of the race?
Quite hectic, yeah. I actually set my fastest lap with a bit of wheel damage, so I guess the most important parts of this race, I only had 3 wheels pointing forward.
Probably should have hit the wall
Sometimes
earlier,
it
Mark.
works that way. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, it was a crazy race in so many ways. What were you expecting from this race, and then what compare that to what actually happened in this one in terms of chaos and everything that went on?
That's a good question. Pace-wise, I was a bit off. Like I was a couple tenths down on the leaders, but just through consistency, I thought maybe I could get up from P12 to maybe top 5. And at a lap 1, I definitely thought like, okay, we got a good chance at P6 or higher, and I definitely didn't expect to be on the podium.
Well, congratulations on getting that podium. Is there anybody you'd like to go a shout out to before we let you go?
Everyone at Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport. I owe them a lot of thanks for helping me find time, race engineering me, especially Connor Nixon and Jackson Dial. They've been a big help to me during races and outside of races.
Oh, also,
congratulations.
Mark, really quickly, sorry, Daniel is going to have a go at you. Just to let you know, for getting the team name wrong in the SK driver app. I had to change it.
Yes, I did, yeah. Thank you very much.
That's all right, Dan Yeoman's on his way.
Just prepare you for that
Okay.
later on.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations, Mark, on the podium tonight, and thanks for chatting to us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for commentating. Have a good night.
And you.
Cheers, thanks very much. Mark Healy there chatting to us at the end of tonight's race. 3rd place for him. Scott Bartine finished in 2nd, and we can chat to him now as well. Congratulations, Scott, on a 2nd place finish here tonight. What a wild race that was. How was that for you?
Oh, it was, very, very shocking. I was wondering what was happening to everybody dropping like flies at the front, so can't complain about that.
Absolutely. What were you expecting from this race in terms of your own speed? Because you qualified inside the top 10 and then made up places throughout the race.
Yeah, I was just hoping to keep it clean and, hopefully other people will push a little bit too hard, make some incidents, which happened. I had an issue at this track in practice, all practices. If I got close enough to the wall, even though I didn't hit it the last lap, the next lap I'd hit it, have wheel damage. So I copped a bit of wheel damage. That's why I pitted a bit early, and I just sort of pushed back and hoped to gain some positions, which I did.
Based on my rather average maths, by the way, I think you're going to be 1 point off the championship lead after all this. Where it's all changed. Although, having said that, there are about 6 drivers within 10 points, so it's all very close. But
yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we wish you luck for the rest of the season. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
yeah, got to give out the shout to the team. Everything Simulated Racing, everything Simulated getting behind us, helping us with all the coaching, practice, you name it. Shannon's there for us. RSW Graphics, RKS, Adrenaline Events, Home Computing. You guys for putting the broadcast on, and Tom, as always, for putting all this together. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for coming to chat to us. Congratulations on second place tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. Scott Valentine, there, second place,
Should
just
we
in
go
behind Jordan
silver?
McDonnell.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, did you
Jordan's
want to
here,
do...
so
Oh, all right. Do
we'll,
Jordan then.
we'll chat to Jordan since he's ready now for our race winner. Congratulations, Jordan. Nearly half a minute ahead of the rest of the field. That doesn't tell the whole story of the race, obviously, but you must be very pleased with this one.
Oh, mate, I am I got to swear, but I'm not going to. But I'm absolutely blown away with how that race ended up going. I was stuck behind Craig, and he, I was matching him, and I was like, damn, did this guy pit? I'm not sure. And because my teammates only had like 3 laps to go when they boxed, then they were coming up the traffic, and he went another 4 laps. I was like, oh man, this guy, he's got it. And then he boxed, and then once everything kind of settled itself down, and I come around and looked at the standings and figured out how far ahead I was like, holy, what the hell? I was just, I'm blown away, dude. I honestly, going from getting absolutely destroyed at turn 1 to going to last, just pitting straight away, the safety car coming out, and then just keeping it clean and plucking my way through the field, like, holy man, I can't even talk.
So close to swearing as well, isn't he? It's like literally on the edge. I can feel the word coming out there as well.
Yeah,
the emotions running high, but that's all fine. In the championship, by the way, you're going to be on 276. I think 5 points only behind the championship leader, who I'm still yet to work out who's going to be. But I think you're going to be close to the championship now. Is that a realistic goal for you now after this round of the championship?
Honestly, mate, with me driving like a muppet all season, I didn't even expect it. So you take it as it comes, I suppose, and we just try and keep doing what we're doing, and 2 podiums in a row now. It's the momentum's there. We just got to put it all together, and I suppose that we saw last season, it can be taken away at the last round, and we'll see what happens. So either way, it's it's exciting to be way out of the run and then now possibly in the run, but it doesn't change anything. The goal for our whole team is go out, get trophies, and that's all we do and want to do. So yeah, we'll just keep going.
Congratulations on that win, John, and thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us tonight as well.
Appreciate it. Just before I go, I'd like to big thanks to the boys at Automoves Racing Team. I want to welcome all our dirt drivers that have just signed on to the team. Super excited to see how they go and all the racing that they do. Obviously, big shout out to Dylan, the owner of Automoves. Without him, none of this would be possible. So big thanks to him. Sim Black, Sim Magic, Exodus, Motor Tribe, All In, Custom Graphics, everyone that's part of our team that supports us, all the drivers, everyone that makes the world go around and makes our team go around. You guys for the stream, Tom for the league. Killer job doing the safety cars and race control now. Unfortunately, couldn't race, but yeah, I'm still speechless. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just blurting shit out my mouth.
It's a crazy race, but congratulations on winning it in the end, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
No worries, boys. See you next week.
Take care, man.
See you next week. That's Jordan McDonnell, the rather speechless race winner. Although a lot of words for a speechless man. Anyway.
I know. I did figure that one out. Well, he did have a lot to say for somebody who could get words out.
Yeah, before anyone says anything, that's what we bring him here for. I'm not complaining. Let's have a chat to Tristan McLaren, who I'm sure will be the same in the silver class win tonight. Congratulations, Tristan, on 9th place overall, but more importantly, perhaps the silver class victory. How are you feeling at the end of that one?
Oh, look, I'm shaking. It's been a while since I've had a good race, to be honest. It's been an up and down season, and I'm shocked I survived lap 1, and from there it just was. I was just trying to focus every single lap, every single corner to not make a mistake. And surprisingly, given that I've never finished a race run around here, I did it first of a race, and I'm pretty darn happy.
How's this season been for you so far? Because we haven't been able to chat to you, unfortunately. This is the first time you finished, I think, inside the top 20 since round 1, if I'm not mistaken. It's a top 10 and 9th place overall. How have you found the season?
Look, it's been pretty atrocious, but from me. It was unfortunate in Hockenheimring where my race was kind of thrown away by some rear wing damage, and in Brazil I forgot to activate my fast repair, and then in Mugello I was just off pace, unfortunately. It's been a pretty bad season, but I take it race by race, just trying to go fast, and I'm thankful I was on pace and I found a ton during the race.
Well, congratulations on winning the silver class, Tristan. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the team at RSW Graphics for their amazing liveries. Everything simulated for the amazing sims. Shannon's a legend. Go get your sim from him. RKS for the amazing gloves I always wear. Adrenaline events for any sim needs for corporate events, and home computing for any computer needs. And I'd just like to shout out Angus, Tom, Scott, and Brett. They're all, and Jake, of course, who did great tonight. Such a great team over at Everything Simulator Racing, and I'm so happy to be part of it. So, and thank you guys. You guys do great broadcasts.
Thank you.
And a
Thanks
double
very
podium for
much.
them as well, because Scotty Bartain took second and you grabbed first in the silver.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome result. Jake came fourth, I think, which was a great result for him, given he got
Third
caught
as well.
up. Third. Oh,
You got
awesome.
double podium.
There you go.
What's that? Triple podium?
Triple podium?
Double?
Yeah, double,
Yeah.
triple, double one, double, I don't know. 2 plus 1, whatever that works out as.
3.
Oh.
3 people on the podium. Anyway, congratulations, Tristan, on the win in the silver class tonight. Thanks for chatting to us again as well.
Thanks so much, boys.
Thanks
Need
so
to
much.
pick up on something here as well. Apparently, a message in
With
YouTube
Tristan
chat.
or-
No, not with Tristan. Sorry, Tristan. You could go. I do love you, mate. I'm going to kick you out. Take care, mate.
See ya.
Sorry.
Yeah, mate.
See.
Apparently, Mr. Peacock, our safety car driver, had a little bit of drama coming out of pit lane, by all accounts. He went and hit the wall.
Into pit lane, yeah.
Yeah, so he went and hit the wall in turn 1, by all accounts, and annihilated the wall. So, yeah, just want to
Going
see...
into the pit lane afterwards, he said. Not on
Is
the
it
way
going
out.
in or on the way out?
On the way in.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a look at this. See if we can see what he
Here we go.
did here.
This is it.
No offence, Jim, but we've got to show it.
This is... oh, dear.
Oh,
He's not...
blimey.
Oh! Hello. Where's he going?
I don't know. Only Jimmy can answer that one. He's
What?
going the wrong way.
What?
Well, now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jim, what
Was
are
that
you
the plan?
doing? I don't know.
Dear, oh, dear.
Why? How did he
That's
end
one
up
of the
doing
worst driving I've
that?
ever seen.
I know, but how did he end up doing that? That's the worst thing about it. I don't quite get how he ended up there whatsoever. I'm sorry, Jim, to keep compounding your misery, but it was quite funny. You've gone and hit the curb there, mate. which
Line
I-
here, by the way.
Yeah,
Have a look at this.
and then over the curb
Oh.
and then drives on straight.
What is he doing?
I don't know. We got to love our safety car driver. He definitely won't be coming in from F1, will he? You know what I mean? Let's be real.
He said he was supposed to go into that. If you look at the bottom of your screen there, it's just on camera. At the very bottom of your screen, behind that palm tree, there's a short cut through, not where the drivers go in, but where you're supposed to, but for the safety car, for our thing here, not there, a bit left, down the very bottom of the screen, I mean.
Down here.
Is he not there? That's the normal pit entry, just to the right of that. There,
Oh,
down
okay.
there,
Somewhere here.
down there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
down the bottom
behind that
picture.
palm tree there. It doesn't look like there's a gap there because there's a palm tree in the way, but whatever kind of tree that is. But there is a gap there that we were going to use anyway. Never
That's
mind.
it.
We'll
Poor old
not
Jimmy.
compare his business.
No.
One more thing, by the way, before we go, I was just doing some maths while we were interviewing those drivers. First unsafety car moment. That's good. I'm just doing some championship maths while we were chatting to the drivers there, and it's unbelievably close. Phil Vella, as a result of finishing down in 18th position, is going to be on 279. That will be a couple of points behind Craig Edwards, who will be on 281. Curtis Webb will be around there as well. He'll be on 270. He'll be a little bit further behind. Scott Bartine, as a result of that, by the way, is going to be on 280. He'll be 1 point behind the championship leader, despite starting the day in 7th. Masroli and Mara are going to be a little bit further behind as a result of what we saw earlier on today. And McDonnell is going to be on 276. He'll be 5 points behind. That's 4 drivers within 10 points of the championship lead after 5 rounds. What a great end to the season we're going to have.
Yeah, and I'm going to be interested about the silver as well. How further has Will Ryan extended? Where is Robillard? Where is Gowan? Oh, it's going to be very exciting going into this one.
We will wait and see how that goes, of course. Make sure you join us again at Barcelona next week. It is not one to miss. We'll be live same time, same place on the JPP YouTube channel as always. Big thanks to all the sponsors who make these broadcasts possible. The title sponsors, of course, Player One Single of this Super Formula Life Championship, but also Print Racer, Ridgeway Racing Setups, RXW Graphics, Everything Simulated and Capstone Marketing as well. We'll be back with that next round at Barcelona on the 13th of May, exactly 7 days' time. From myself, Ian O'Leary and James Parfitt, goodbye from Long Beach, and we'll see you again in 1 week's time.